She discovered that cancer loves. And we need to know what cancer loves so we can stop it. We also need to know what cancer hates, because we want to give it, is that right?
In this video, we will learn from Barbara about 7 acid-forming drinks we should try to avoid to provide a healthy environment for our bodies to naturally protect against cancer and other diseases. Barbara O'Neill emphasizes that the pH of the human body is crucial, because diseases grow at different pH levels, making maintaining a proper pH balance essential for preventing illness. The blood's pH should be between 7.35 and 7.4. Cancer, in particular, loves acidic environments, low oxygen levels, and sugar.
Cancer loves acid. Cancer also loves no oxygen. The other thing cancer loves is sugar.
To help people conquer cancer, O'Neill suggests a highly alkalizing diet, methods to oxygenate the body, and greatly reducing glucose intake.
And so when people come to us wanting help to conquer cancer, you see what we do? We suggest a diet that's highly alkalizing. We suggest ways to oxygenate the body. And we also greatly eliminate the glucose, the sugars going into the body.
Barbara O'Neill emphasizes the critical role of maintaining a balanced acid-alkaline level in the body to support optimal health. She explains that the beverages we choose can leave either an acidic or alkaline residue after digestion, largely determined by their mineral content. Key minerals like calcium, potassium, magnesium, and sodium are essential for sustaining a balanced pH, while others, including sulfur, phosphorus, chlorine, and iodine, tend to increase acidity. O'Neill recommends a diet of 80% alkaline-forming foods and drinks, and 20% acid-forming ones. She advises reducing or avoiding the following 7 drinks. First, soda. Soda is highly acidic and filled with sugar, providing an ideal environment for cancer cells to thrive.
There was no diabetes on the planet until sugar was refined, and many are enslaved to this refined sugar. We get many guests come to our retreat saying, I have these sugar cravings. So at our retreat, as I showed you yesterday, we do 2 days of juices, mostly fruit and vegetable juices. And then after a couple of days of juices, it's a great way to break addictions, whether it be sugar addictions, wheat addictions, caffeine, alcohol, drug addiction. The 2 days of the fast is a great way to break the cycle. And then beginning to eat better food, beginning to eat food that's vitalized, foods that is not refined, food that will give the body the nourishment it needs to function and to heal. And we get emails from people 6 weeks after they've attended our program and they say, I have no more sugar cravings. You see, the more you eat it, the more you crave it.
The acidity of soda disrupts the body's natural pH balance, and the high sugar content fuels cancer cell growth. Carbonation, artificial flavors, and preservatives also add to its negative impact on health, weakening the body's defenses and creating a cancer-friendly environment.
Coke. Well, unfortunately, caffeine and sugar are dehydrating agents. And so if you're dehydrated and drink tea or coffee or Coke or Dr. Pepper or any soda drinks, because of the dehydrating agents in them, you will become more dehydrated. It will not hydrate your body.
According to a study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, some studies have looked at how drinking soda, especially diet soda, might be linked to cancer. One important study involved many nurses and health professionals who shared information about what they ate and drank over more than 20 years. The study found that men who drank a lot of diet soda, 1 or more cans a day, had a higher chance of getting a type of cancer called non-Hodgkin lymphoma and multiple myeloma. Additionally, drinking regular sugary soda was also linked to a higher risk of non-Hodgkin lymphoma in men. The sweetener aspartame found in diet sodas might be connected to an increased risk of these cancers, especially in men. The researchers think that the way our bodies break down aspartame could be part of the reason for these risks. Second, alcoholic beverages.
And alcohol is also given off. Alcohol breaks down in the body to acetaldehyde. And acetaldehyde is a neurotoxin. We don't want a neurotoxin. A neurotoxin is a brain killer. There are 5 places you can be exposed to acetaldehyde. Yes, if someone consumes alcohol. Yes, if someone has a yeast problem and they're having a lot of fruit, it will break down to this. Cigarette smoke, car fumes give off acetaldehyde. And the last one is vinegar. We don't use vinegar here, we use lemon. Lemon is far superior.
Barbara O'Neill advises against regular alcohol consumption, as alcohol lowers the body's pH, weakens the immune system, and creates an environment favorable to cancer cells. Alcohol is metabolized into acetaldehyde, a toxic substance that can damage DNA and weaken cellular function. Studies show links between alcohol and cancers of the liver, breast, and digestive tract, making it one of the drinks to avoid if you want to reduce cancer risks. According to a review in the New England Journal of Medicine, scientists studied how drinking alcohol can affect our health, especially the risk of getting cancer. They looked at many different studies to see if drinking less alcohol or stopping altogether could help lower the chances of getting certain types of cancer. Their research showed that drinking less alcohol can help reduce the risk of cancers in the mouth and throat. This means that if people cut back on their drinking or quit, they might have a better chance of staying healthy and avoiding these types of cancer. The scientists explained that when we drink alcohol, our bodies turn it into a harmful substance called acetaldehyde. This substance can damage our DNA, which is like the instruction manual for our cells. When DNA gets damaged, it can lead to problems like cancer. 3. Processed fruit juices. Store-bought fruit juices are often high in sugar and lack the natural fiber of whole fruits, making them highly acidic and quickly absorbed by the body. The concentrated sugars in these juices can spike insulin and feed cancer cells, while also contributing to inflammation and insulin resistance. According to a review in the Frontiers in Nutrition journal, drinking processed fruit juices might not be as healthy as we think. The study looked at how these juices could be linked to cancer. It found that while whole fruits are good for us because they have fiber and vitamins, fruit juices often have a lot of sugar and very little fiber.
Now I've got a question mark with fruit too. Why have I got a question mark? If someone has a yeast presence in their body and they're eating a lot of fruit, the sugar in the fruit will feed the yeast. And as the yeast feeds on the sugars in the fruit, it gives off acetic acid. It gives off lactic acid. It gives off uric acid. So it basically is feathering its nest. So when a person has a yeast presence and they're eating a lot of fruit, can you see that they are feeding the problem? And they're creating the environment of 5.5 where yeast loves to live.
This means that drinking too much fruit juice can raise our blood sugar levels, which might lead to health problems, including an increased risk of cancer. The researchers found that drinking more fruit juice was connected to a higher chance of getting certain types of cancer, like melanoma and colorectal cancer. They explained that the sugar in fruit juices can cause our bodies to make more insulin, which is a hormone that can help tumors grow. They also mentioned that some fruit juices, like pomegranate juice, might actually help lower cancer risk, showing that not all juices are the same. 4. Sweetened coffee drinks.
There is one drink that leaches the magnesium and the calcium out of the body, and that is caffeine. Now, there was a bit of a groan last night when I mentioned this one. And most people don't realise that that coffee is a huge contributing factor to dehydration, to heart malfunction, and also to imbalance in heartbeats. So there are some things that have to stop. You want to keep the heart withal diligent, and one of them is caffeine, because of the way it leaches the magnesium out of the body. And as you can see by what I just described, magnesium is so important. Anyone that comes to me with high blood pressure, well, we do quite a few changes, but we always supplement with magnesium because it keeps that heart muscle at rest. You see, your systolic is your high point and your diastolic is your bottom one. It relaxes that diastolic and brings it down a little bit. And the Celtic salt can do that. But how often are people with high blood pressure told to what? No salt. When everyone at work is going out to get their coffee or their cigarette to get a boost, you just get your crystal of Celtic salt, put it on your tongue, have a glass of water, and you watch that little energy boost that you will get. And you won't get the drop like they will all get. They might get an initial rise, but then there's always a corresponding drop. And
while coffee itself isn't necessarily harmful in moderation, many sweetened coffee drinks are filled with sugar and heavy creams. These add to the acidity in the body, fuel cancer cell growth, and increase insulin spikes. Dairy and sugars together also increase acidity, contributing to an environment where cancer cells can thrive. Barbara O'Neill recommends enjoying unsweetened herbal teas or plain black coffee if you're looking for an energy boost. 5. Energy drinks.
2.6. This is where Coca-Cola sits. It's a killer. It's toxic. I was in the Fiji Islands and I was lecturing to some school children there. This is about 10 years ago. And the principal of the school said, I know the Coca-Cola factory. And he said, and I know they clean their machinery with the Coca-Cola. And remember our 2.6 Coca-Cola? That's a combination of the caffeine and the sugar. Did you know that Coca-Cola is called Coca-Cola? Because I think it was in the early part of the 20th century, they put cocaine in it. And then they went over to caffeine, which is just as dangerous.
Energy drinks are extremely acidic, high in caffeine, and packed with sugars, artificial sweeteners, and preservatives, all of which Barbara O'Neill cautions against for their harmful impact on health. According to Barbara O'Neill, these acidic drinks disrupt the body's natural pH balance, creating an environment where cancer cells can thrive, as they flourish in acidic, low-oxygen conditions. She explains that the combination of sugars and artificial sweeteners also feeds cancer cells, which thrive on sugars, turning energy drinks into ideal fuel for cancer growth. Barbara O'Neill also points out the dangers of excessive caffeine, which is present in alarmingly high levels in most energy drinks. While moderate caffeine consumption can be safe, O'Neill emphasizes that the high caffeine in these drinks places undue stress on the adrenal glands. Over time, this constant stimulation can lead to adrenal fatigue, weakening the body's ability to manage stress and significantly compromising immune function. O'Neill warns that a weakened immune system is less capable of warding off diseases, including cancer. Additionally, O'Neill highlights the dehydrating effects of energy drinks. The high caffeine content acts as a diuretic, causing the body to lose fluids faster, which leaves cells deprived of essential hydration. Dehydrated cells struggle to transport nutrients and oxygen effectively, contributing further to an acidic internal environment. This combination of acidity, dehydration, and immune stress, as O'Neill explains, weakens the body's defenses, making it more vulnerable to disease. 6. Milkshakes. Milkshakes with dairy bases create an acidic environment in the body due to their sugar and fat content. Dairy also contains casein, a protein that can promote acidity, and hormones that may stimulate cancer growth.
We stop eating dairy products, cheeses, creams, yogurts, milk. How are we going to get our calcium? Let's have a look at the glass of cow's milk. Here's a glass of cow's milk. It's high in protein and high in calcium. But this protein, this animal protein, is very dirty burning fuel. Only 58% is burnt as fuel. So what that does is it leaves a 42% waste. That is a sulfur waste. It's very acid. And do you remember what the body uses to negate acidity? Calcium. So the calcium from that glass of cow's milk is used to negate that acid residue. How much calcium is left for our body? None. So the countries in this world that consume the highest amounts of dairy products have the highest incidence of osteoporosis. So where do we get our calcium? We get our calcium in the state that God meant us to have it, which is your whole salt. All the other minerals need to be together. Your whole salt, also your dark green leafy vegetables, should be eating them every day.
According to a review in the World Journal of Men's Health, a study looked at how casein, a protein found in milk, affects prostate cancer cells. Researchers tested 2 types of prostate cancer cells to see if casein would help them grow. They added casein to the cells and found that it made the cancer cells grow more. This information is important because it suggests that eating a lot of dairy products, which contain casein, might not be good for men who are worried about prostate cancer. Choosing a plant-based smoothie with low-sugar fruits and no added sweeteners is a better option for those looking to maintain a balanced pH and avoid fueling cancer cells. 7. Artificially sweetened beverages.
Someone has a yeast presence in their body. How would they know they had a yeast presence? Well, some of the most common symptoms are sinus problems, rashes, eczemas, psoriasis, but the tongue should be pink from the tip to the back. If someone has a yeast presence and they're eating a high fruit diet, the sugar in the fruit will feed the yeast. It's not fussy. It'll take any form of sweetener. And as it feeds on the sugar in the fruit, it gives off acetic acid. It gives off lactic acid. It gives off uric acid. And it gives off alcohol. So you can see by this that yeast feathers its nest. What do I mean by that? Well, yeast thrives pH of 5.5. This is where fungus or yeast thrives. This is also where cancer thrives. And there's a lot of research today linking cancer and fungus together. You just Google it, put cancer fungus in together, and you'll get a whole lot of information. So can you see what fruit does? If you've got a yeast presence, it can feather its nest. I'll give you a story.
Barbara O'Neill strongly advises against artificially sweetened drinks, such as diet sodas and sugar-free beverages, warning that while they may appear healthy, they can disrupt the body's pH balance and foster an acidic internal environment. O'Neill explains that artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose can lead to metabolic disturbances, impairing the body's ability to maintain stable blood sugar and insulin levels. These imbalances, O'Neill highlights, can create a cycle of increased cravings for sweet foods, which further strains blood sugar regulation and can even contribute to insulin resistance over time. O'Neill stresses that these artificial sweeteners can also interfere with gut health, as they may alter the composition of gut bacteria, which is essential for immune function and the body's ability to detoxify. This disruption not only encourages acidity, but also weakens the body's natural defenses, making it more susceptible to chronic illnesses, including cancer. By steering clear of artificially sweetened drinks, O'Neill suggests, individuals can avoid these metabolic and pH imbalances and create a more supportive environment for their body's healing potential. Instead, Barbara O'Neill recommends choosing pure water or herbal teas to hydrate the body and maintain an alkaline balance. These natural alternatives not only avoid the metabolic stress caused by artificial sweeteners, but also support the body's internal balance, allowing the body to focus on healing and prevention. O'Neill's advice emphasizes that simple, natural beverages are key to fortifying the body's health and resisting the acidic conditions in which cancer cells thrive. If you've found value in this video so far and appreciate the many hours of effort that went into creating it, please consider liking the video and leaving a comment to support the channel.